Good evening, architects of emotion and the sleepless sentinels of the Mr. Magazine community. You have navigated the chaotic currents of the internet to arrive at the sanctuary of deep analysis. Here, we do not merely glance at the headlines, we dismantle the machinery of the human heart to understand why the gears have suddenly ground to a halt. We are here to separate the PR strategy from the raw, bleeding truth. Before we open the heavy dossier on tonight's seismic event, a story involving the sudden collapse of a beloved couple, the arrival of a new muse, and a rainy night in Italy that changed everything, I must ask you to perform the sacred rituals of our order. Verify that you are subscribed. Ensure the notification bell is ringing in harmony with our uploads. And, for those who wish to move from the gallery to the inner circle of truth seekers, I invite you to click the join button. Your patronage is the shield that allows us to speak on the unspeakable. Tonight, we turn our gaze to the phenomenon of Ruzgali Teep. For months, the names Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda have been synonymous with a specific kind of on-screen magic, a partnership that fans believed transcended the script. But the private life of a leading man is a fragile ecosystem. For weeks, a question has hovered in the dark corners of social media, a whisper that refused to die: is something happening between Gökberk Yıldırım and Alana Blor? What began as a rumor has mutated into a reality that feels bigger, heavier, and harder to ignore. It is not just a breakup, it is a displacement. The abrupt end of Gökberk's relationship with Cemre Arda, marked not by a press release, but by the quiet violence of an unfollow, has left the fandom reeling. And standing at the center of this storm, with the calm composure of a hurricane's eye, is Alana Blor. If you are ready to witness the anatomy of a heart shifting its allegiance, press the like button now. Let the rain begin. To understand the magnitude of this rupture, we must first honor the casualty. Cemre Arda. Those who know her describe a woman of immense loyalty and a grounded heart. She is the kind of partner who celebrates in the shadows, who supports without needing to steal the spotlight. She was the anchor in Gökberk's increasingly chaotic life. Yet, sources tell us she was blindsided. The erasure was smooth but brutal. A quiet unfollow. Shared photos vanishing into the digital ether. A timeline that once felt like a promise was scrubbed clean. But the cracks had been forming long before the public noticed. Cemre, with the intuition that only a lover possesses, had begun to struggle with the shifting tides. The signs were classic, almost cliché, yet devastatingly effective. Short replies where there used to be paragraphs. Late answers. A restless edge around Gökberk that didn't quite match the professional demands of the job. He cited the usual suspects: training, rehearsals running late, extra time needed on choreography. And Cemre, ever the understanding partner, tried to rationalize the distance. She told herself it was crunch time. She told herself it was the pressure of a major production. But there is a point where the gut instinct begins to hum a warning tune that the mind can no longer ignore. The pieces didn't click until the production moved to Italy and Malaysia, and the name Alana began to appear on the call sheets. When Alana Blor joined the production of Ruzgali Teep, the official headlines hailed it as a powerful addition to a massive project. But on set, the language was different. The crew, those silent observers who see everything, began to use words like electricity and gravitational pull. Alana does not play the game loudly. She is not all flirt and flash. She walks in with ease, her craft sharp, her presence undeniable. She is the kind of woman who doesn't need to elbow her way into a room, the room simply reshapes itself around her. One crew member, a veteran of enough sets to know the difference between acting and being, put it simply: when these two share a frame, the temperature rises. Even when the director yells cut, the conversation does not end. Notes about scenes blend seamlessly into laughter and low-voiced exchanges that feel like an aftertaste of the emotion they just portrayed. It didn't take long for the whispers to start. It was a tenderness quietly taking form, a shift in Gökberk's demeanor. Crew members swear they saw a change in him with her nearby, more grounded, more open, more himself. And that, for anyone who has loved him from afar, is the detail that aches the most. The version of him that Cemre had been missing. The lighter, more engaged Gökberk had not disappeared. He had simply migrated. Every story has a turning point, a moment where the dam breaks. For Gökberk and Alana, that moment reportedly arrived late in the second month of production, during a day built around motion and tension. It was a rehearsal for a close contact scene, the kind of choreography where the line between control and surrender sits on a razor's edge. The weather was unyielding, a downpour that soaked the set and the actors. They went again and again at the director's request. And in the midst of this physical exhaustion, a natural ease emerged. It was unforced. It was palpable. When the director finally called it a day, the two did not retreat to separate trailers. They drifted aside, still trading thoughts about beats and timing, while the heavy rain thinned to a mist. And then, the gesture. Someone on the crew noted that Alana's shirt had caught the worst of the weather. Without hesitation, without a word, Gökberk shrugged off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. It was not a grand romantic declaration, it was an instinct. It was the kind of protective intimacy that speaks louder than a sonnet. No one leaked images of this moment, but the picture traveled anyway, passed in whispers from the grip to the makeup artist, and eventually, to the ears of the industry. If Cemre had known then what we know now, the puzzle would have solved itself much sooner. If the rainy rehearsal was the spark, the night in Italy was the fire. One ordinary evening became the footage no one could stop replaying. Paparazzi caught only a few seconds, but those seconds felt louder than any caption could express. Gökberk and Alana were seen leaving the set side by side. They were moving like two people lit by the same internal flame. The camera caught the eye contact, smiles that arrived too fast to be rehearsed. It caught the casual brush of her hand on his arm, a touch that lingered a fraction of a second too long to be platonic. It caught his head bowing to say something meant only for her ears, creating a private bubble in a public street. It wasn't a scandal in the traditional sense. They weren't kissing on a balcony. But it was enough to send the internet into a fever. Are they together? Isn't he with Cemre? Is this on-screen heat sliding off the edge of the frame into real life? The production team stayed quiet, later releasing a tidy line about professionalism and work talk. But we, the students of human behavior, know how that line lands. It rings hollow against the visual evidence of two souls gravitating toward one another. The inevitable conclusion did not happen with a shout, but with a whisper. Those close to Cemre say the conversation that ended the relationship was not cruel. It was measured. It was careful. It was the kind of conversation where someone tries to be honest without setting the world on fire. Gökberk reportedly told her he didn't want to force things. He said that being unfair to her, staying out of obligation, would be worse than facing the hard truth. He admitted his heart might be elsewhere. He didn't have to say where he elsewhere lived. Cemre knew. The audience knew. After that, his online presence thinned. Fewer posts. A retreat into the work. A watchful silence. Meanwhile, clips from the Ruzgali Teep set gained a new glow. Behind-the-scenes snippets seemed to hum with something unscripted. Comments stacked up claiming that what we were seeing wasn't just craft, it was chemistry reaching through the screen. People insisted Cemre must have felt it long before the rest of us did. Where does that leave us now? The reaction on social media has split into camps, as it always does. Some leap to defend Gökberk, arguing that people grow apart and that he handled it by ending the previous relationship before starting a new one. Others swear the connection with Alana is visible even to the blind and mourn the betrayal of Cemre. But the most striking aspect is the behavior of the three players in this drama. Alana Blore, she keeps her gaze fixed on the work. No denials, no confirmations. Just a steady smile and a professionalism that only stokes the fire. She is letting the current carry her. Cemre Arda, she chose dignity over spectacle. She did not lash out online. She did not beg for sympathy. She let time do what time does. Her grace in the face of public humiliation is a testament to her character. Gökberk Yıldırım, he is pulling inward. But anyone paying attention can read the signs, the ease in his posture when Alana is nearby, the private smile that looks like a secret finally admitted. He's not flaunting anything. He's just stopped hiding what isn't meant to be hidden. We have analyzed the betrayal, the new love, and the silence. Now, I must turn the mirror toward you, the intelligent heart of the Mr. Magazine community. This story forces us to confront the uncomfortable reality of falling in love while already in a commitment. My question to you is this: do you believe Gökberk's emotional migration to Alana was an inevitable consequence of on-set chemistry, something that cannot be controlled? Or do you believe there is a level of discipline a partner owes to their significant other, regardless of who walks onto the set? And what of Cemre? Does her dignified silence make you respect her more? Pause the video. Scroll down to the comments. Share your philosophy. Your answers are the threads that weave this community together. As we close the dossier on the Italian storm, let us carry with us the weight of this transition. It isn't only the scandal that grips us. It is the inevitability. Two people collided in a place designed to fake emotion, and what broke out felt too genuine to keep pressed between takes. You can call it a cliché, on-set chemistry spilling over, but clichés exist because they keep happening. We will continue to watch, to analyze, and to wait for the soft launch that insiders say is coming. But for now, the story is written in the rain of Italy and the silence of Istanbul. If this deep dive resonated with you, please like the video. Subscribe to Mr. Magazine for stories that honor the complexity of the human spirit. And click join to help us keep the lights on in the lighthouse of truth. From the set of Ruzgali Teep to your screen, remember, the heart wants what it wants, even when the timing is wrong. Good night.